Fire. It dances in the darkness, warm and inviting, yet fierce and untamed. In the ancient myth of Prometheus, the Titan defies the gods to steal fire and give it to humanity, a gift that sparks both creation and chaos. This duality of fire, its power to nurture and destroy, has fascinated civilizations for millennia. Across cultures, from the sacred flames of Zoroastrian rituals to the destructive wildfires in Aboriginal tales, fire stands as a universal symbol of transformation, embodying humanity's deepest fears and highest aspirations. But why does fire hold such a profound place in our myths? What does its dual nature reveal about who we are and what we strive for? In this video, we'll journey through the fiery heart of mythology, exploring how this elemental force has shaped stories of creation, destruction, and renewal. Together, we'll uncover the cultural and psychological significance of fire and discover why it remains one of the most powerful symbols in human history. Are you ready to step into the flames and see what lies beyond? Let's begin. Fire has always been more than just a physical force. It's a symbol, a metaphor, and a story in itself. Across countless myths, fire dances between two extremes, creation and destruction. Think about it. Fire can warm a home, cook a meal, and bring light to the darkest nights. But it can also consume forests, reduce cities to ash, and leave nothing but desolation in its wake. This duality is at the heart of fire's role in mythology, making it one of the most compelling elements in human storytelling. Take the Hindu god Agni, for example. Agni isn't just a deity of flame, he's a figure of transformation. As the god of fire, he's responsible for carrying offerings from humans to the gods, a sacred act of creation and connection. Yet, Agni also has the power to destroy. He's the spark that ignites sacrificial fires, but also the blaze that can obliterate entire realms. Agni embodies the paradox of fire, its ability to give life and take it away. And this isn't unique to Hinduism. Across cultures, fire is revered and feared in equal measure because of this very duality. But fire's power goes beyond just creation and destruction. It's also a liminal force, a boundary between worlds. In many myths, fire exists in the space between life and death, the physical and the spiritual. It's a bridge, a threshold. When ancient peoples lit funeral pyres, they weren't just burning a body, they were sending a soul to the afterlife, using fire as the medium of transition. This liminal quality makes fire a symbol of transformation, of change that's both inevitable and profound. What's fascinating is how different cultures have interpreted this duality. Some see fire as a gift from the gods, a tool for progress and enlightenment. Others view it as a force of chaos, unpredictable and uncontrollable. Yet, no matter the interpretation, fire's dual nature remains constant. It's a reminder that creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin, and that life itself is a cycle of beginnings and endings. As we move forward, we'll explore how this theme plays out in myths from around the world, revealing the universal truths that fire has ignited in the human imagination. Fire, in many myths, isn't just a force of destruction, it's also the very essence of creation. Take the Norse myth of Muspelheim, for example. This fiery realm, ruled by the giant Surtur, is one of the primordial worlds that existed before anything else. It's said that when the icy realm of Niflheim met the heat of Muspelheim, the collision sparked life itself, giving rise to the cosmos. Here, fire isn't just a tool or a weapon, it's the spark that set the universe into motion. It's the origin of everything, a symbol of raw potential and the energy needed to bring life into being. This idea of fire as a creator isn't unique to Norse mythology. In Greek myths, we see it again in the story of Prometheus, the Titan who defied the gods to bring fire to humanity. This wasn't just a gift of warmth and light. It was the gift of knowledge, innovation, and progress. With fire, humans learned to cook, to forge tools, and to build civilizations. Prometheus' act symbolizes the transformative power of fire, not just as a physical element, but as a metaphor for enlightenment. It's the spark that ignites curiosity, creativity, and the drive to improve. But fire's dual nature is what makes it so fascinating. While it's a source of life and innovation, it's also a force of destruction. The same fire that warms a home can reduce it to ash. The same flame that lights a path can consume everything in its way. This duality is central to understanding fire's role in mythology. It's both a creator and a destroyer, a giver of life and a bringer of chaos. And it's this tension that makes fire such a powerful symbol, one that resonates across cultures and stories, reminding us of its ability to both build and unravel the world. Fire has always held a dual nature in mythology, capable of both creation and destruction. But in many stories, it's the destructive force of fire that leaves the most lasting impression. Take the biblical tale of Sodom and Gomorrah, where fire rains down from the heavens as divine punishment, obliterating entire cities. Here, fire isn't just a tool of destruction. It's a symbol of judgment, a cleansing force that erases corruption and wrongdoing. The flames consume everything, leaving behind a stark reminder of the consequences of moral failure. Similarly, in Norse mythology, fire plays a central role in Ragnarok, the apocalyptic end of the world. During this cataclysmic event, the fire giant Surtur wields a flaming sword, setting the earth ablaze and bringing about the end of the gods and their realms. But even in this destruction, there's a sense of inevitability and purpose. Fire doesn't just destroy, it clears the way for something new. The Norse believed that after Ragnarok, a new world would rise from the ashes, pure and untouched by the failures of the past. This idea of fire as both destroyer and renewer isn't unique to Norse mythology. The Aztecs also saw fire as a cyclical force, one that periodically consumed the world to make way for rebirth. According to their beliefs, the universe had gone through multiple ages, each ending in destruction by fire, flood, or other cataclysmic events. Each time, fire wasn't just an agent of chaos. It was a necessary step in the cycle of renewal, a way to reset the balance and begin again. What's fascinating is how these myths reflect a universal understanding of fire's dual role. It's not just about the physical destruction, it's about what that destruction represents. Fire can symbolize punishment, yes, but it can also symbolize transformation. It tears down the old, the corrupt, or the stagnant, creating space for something new to emerge. And in that way, fire becomes a metaphor for life itself, chaotic, unpredictable, but always carrying the potential for renewal. So, the next time you see a flame, think about its deeper meaning. It's not just a force of destruction, it's a reminder that sometimes things must burn away to make room for growth. Destruction and rebirth are two sides of the same fiery coin. Fire has always been more than just a destructive force. It's a powerful symbol of transformation, a recurring theme in myths and legends across cultures. Think about the phoenix, the mythical bird that rises from its own ashes. This isn't just a story of death and rebirth. It's a metaphor for the cyclical nature of life itself. Fire consumes, yes, but it also clears the way for something new to emerge. It's this duality that makes fire such a compelling symbol of change, renewal, and even purification. In many traditions, fire isn't just about destruction, it's about refining. Take alchemy, for example. Alchemists believed fire could transform base metals into gold, but this wasn't just about wealth or material gain. The process symbolized something deeper, the purification of the soul, the journey from earthly imperfection to spiritual enlightenment. Fire, in this context, becomes a tool for inner transformation, burning away impurities to reveal something more valuable beneath the surface. This idea of fire as a catalyst for change isn't limited to myth or metaphor. It's woven into the fabric of human rituals and ceremonies, from ancient Zoroastrian fire temples to the sacred flames of Vedic rituals. Fire has been central to practices that mark life's most significant transitions: birth, marriage, death. These rituals often use fire to symbolize the passage from one state of being to another, a kind of spiritual alchemy that mirrors the physical transformations we see in myths. And let's not forget how fire connects us to the natural cycles of life and death. In many creation stories, fire is both the end and the beginning. It destroys forests, but in doing so, it fertilizes the soil, allowing new growth to flourish. This cycle of destruction and renewal is echoed in the Phoenix's story, as well as in the way fire is used in seasonal celebrations like Beltane or Duality, where it marks the end of one phase and the start of another. So, when we look at fire through the lens of transformation, we see more than just flames. We see a force that shapes, refines, and renews, both in the physical world and within ourselves. And as we explore further, we'll see how this transformative power of fire extends beyond myths and into the rituals and ceremonies that have shaped human history. Fire has long been more than just a physical element. It holds a sacred place in the rituals and ceremonies of countless cultures, acting as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Take, for instance, the Hindu practice of Agnihotra, a daily fire ritual performed at sunrise and sunset. This ancient tradition involves offering grains, ghee, and sacred herbs into a fire while chanting Vedic mantras. The fire is believed to purify the surroundings, cleanse the mind, and serve as a medium for communicating with the gods. It's not just about the flames themselves, but what they represent: transformation, renewal, and the eternal cycle of life. Similarly, in Zoroastrianism, fire temples are central to worship. The sacred fire, or atta, is seen as a symbol of divine wisdom and purity, never allowed to go out. Worshippers gather around these eternal flames, believing them to be a physical manifestation of Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity. Fire here is both a literal and metaphorical light, guiding devotees toward truth and righteousness. These rituals remind us that fire isn't just destructive, it's also a source of life, warmth, and spiritual connection. Even in modern times, fire continues to hold symbolic power. Think of the Olympic torch, a tradition rooted in ancient Greek rituals honoring Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods to give to humanity. Today, the torch relay symbolizes unity, continuity, and the shared spirit of humanity across borders. The flame, once lit, travels across nations, connecting people through a shared symbol of hope and perseverance. At its core, fire in rituals often represents purification, burning away impurities, whether physical or spiritual. It's also a means of communication with the divine, a way to send prayers and offerings upward, carried by the smoke and light. And finally, it embodies the eternal flame of life, a reminder of the unbroken cycle of existence that transcends time and space. This connection between fire and the divine isn't just symbolic, it's deeply ingrained in how cultures perceive the sacred. Whether it's the flickering flames of a temple candle or the roaring bonfires of solstice celebrations, fire remains a universal language of reverence, transformation, and connection to something greater than ourselves. Fire has long been a symbol of the divine, a force that bridges the mortal and the immortal. Across cultures and mythologies, gods and goddesses are often intimately tied to fire, embodying its essence as a source of power, protection, and sacred presence. Take, for instance, Hestia, the Greek goddess of the hearth. In ancient Greek households, the hearth fire was more than just a source of warmth. It was a living symbol of Hestia's watchful care. Families would tend to the flame, believing it connected them to her divine energy. Extinguishing the fire was unthinkable, as it would sever that sacred bond, leaving the home vulnerable to chaos and misfortune. In Hawaiian mythology, fire takes on a more volatile yet equally sacred form through Pele, the goddess of volcanoes. Pele's fiery eruptions are both destructive and creative, reshaping the land and giving birth to new earth. She is revered not just as a deity, but as a living embodiment of fire's dual nature, its ability to destroy and to renew. Stories of Pele often depict her as a powerful, tempestuous figure, her moods reflected in the flames and lava flows. Yet, she is also a protector, her fire serving as a reminder of the god's presence in the natural world. The ancient Romans, too, saw fire as a direct link to the divine. In their temples, the eternal flame burned as a symbol of the god's favor and protection. Vestal virgins, priestesses devoted to Vesta, the Roman equivalent of Hestia, were tasked with keeping the flame alive. Its perpetual glow was a sign of Rome's prosperity and the god's blessings. To let the flame die was to invite disaster, a belief that underscores how deeply fire was intertwined with ideas of divine power and human fate. These examples reveal a common thread. Fire is not just a tool or a natural phenomenon. It is a living, sacred force that connects humanity to the divine. Whether as a hearth fire, a volcanic eruption, or an eternal flame, fire's presence in mythology is a reminder of the gods' power and their role in shaping human destiny. And as we move forward, we'll see how this divine connection extends into the broader tapestry of human myths, where fire becomes a symbol of transformation, guidance, and even rebellion. Fire is not just a force of nature. It's a mirror reflecting humanity's deepest fears, hopes, and ingenuity. Across cultures, myths centered on fire reveal how humans have grappled with its dual nature, a gift and a peril. Take the Cherokee story of the first fire, for instance. In this tale, fire is guarded by the water spiders, and it's through their bravery and cleverness that humans finally obtain it. This myth doesn't just celebrate the acquisition of fire, it underscores the resilience and resourcefulness of humanity. Fire here is more than a tool. It's a symbol of survival, a spark of civilization that transforms lives. Similarly, the Inuit tale of the sun's creation speaks to fire's life-giving power. In this story, a young girl is thrown into the sky, where she becomes the sun, bringing warmth and light to a frozen world. Here, fire isn't just a physical element, it's a metaphor for hope and renewal. The myth captures the awe-inspiring role fire plays in sustaining life, even as it reminds us of its delicate balance. Too much and it consumes, too little and it leaves us in darkness. Then there's the Maori myth of Maui, a trickster hero who steals fire from the underworld. Maui's daring act isn't just about acquiring fire, it's about challenging boundaries and defying the gods. This story reflects humanity's restless spirit, our drive to harness the uncontrollable and bend it to our will. But it also carries a warning. Fire, like knowledge, comes with responsibility. Maui's theft isn't without consequences, reminding us that our relationship with fire is as much about respect as it is about mastery. These myths, though rooted in different cultures, share a common thread. They reveal how fire has shaped our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. It's a symbol of transformation, a reminder of our vulnerability, and a testament to our creativity. And as these stories weave fire into their narratives, they also highlight its role as a storyteller itself. Fire doesn't just illuminate, it inspires, teaching us lessons about courage, balance, and the eternal dance between creation and destruction. So, as we move forward, let's explore how fire's symbolic power extends beyond myths, shaping the way we tell stories and understand the world around us. Fire has always been more than just a physical element in myths and stories. It's a powerful symbol capable of conveying some of humanity's deepest emotions and ideas. Think about it. Fire is both life-giving and destructive, warm yet dangerous, a force that can illuminate or consume. This duality makes it the perfect metaphor for themes like passion, anger, and even enlightenment. In storytelling, fire often becomes a mirror for the human soul, reflecting our most intense feelings and transformative moments. Take, for example, the fiery chariot of Helios in Greek mythology. Helios, the sun god, rides across the sky each day, his chariot pulled by blazing horses. This image isn't just about the sun's journey. It's a symbol of power, vitality, and the unstoppable force of life itself. The fire here represents not just light, but the energy that drives existence, a reminder of the divine spark within all living things. Then there's the burning bush from the Bible, a story that's both mysterious and profound. Here, fire doesn't destroy, it communicates. The bush burns but isn't consumed, symbolizing the presence of the divine. It's a moment of revelation where fire becomes a bridge between the human and the holy, a sign of enlightenment and divine will. This imagery resonates because fire, in its flickering, unpredictable nature, captures the awe and mystery of encountering something greater than ourselves. But fire's symbolism goes even deeper, touching on our psychological landscape. On one level, fire represents passion, the kind of burning desire that drives heroes, lovers, and dreamers. Yet it can also symbolize anger, the kind of rage that consumes and destroys, like the wildfires in myths that lay waste to kingdoms. And then there's enlightenment, the idea of fire as a purifying force that burns away ignorance, leaving behind clarity and truth. Fire, in all its forms, becomes a way for storytellers to explore the complexities of human emotion and experience. What makes fire so compelling in these stories is its ability to evoke visceral reactions. When we hear about flames, we can almost feel their heat, see their light, and sense their danger. This vivid imagery makes the emotional stakes of a story feel real, pulling us deeper into the narrative. Whether it's the destructive fury of a dragon's breath or the gentle warmth of a hearth fire, these images stay with us, carrying layers of meaning that go beyond the literal. As we move forward, let's consider how fire's symbolism extends beyond the physical and into the realm of the mind. What does it mean when fire appears in dreams or visions? How does its imagery shape our understanding of transformation and rebirth? These questions take us into the psychological dimensions of fire, where its flames burn not in the world around us, but within the stories we tell ourselves. Fire isn't just a physical force, it's a mirror to the human soul, reflecting our deepest emotions and desires. Think about it. When we talk about passion, ambition, or even fear, we often use fire as a metaphor. A burning desire drives us forward, while fiery anger consumes us. This connection between fire and emotion isn't accidental. It's woven into the fabric of our collective psyche, a universal language that transcends cultures and time. Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist, saw fire as a powerful symbol of the unconscious mind, a force that both destroys and creates. In his view, fire represents the process of transformation, the alchemy of turning our raw, unrefined emotions into something greater. It's no wonder that so many myths feature heroes facing fiery trials, like the Greek hero Heracles, who had to endure the heat of the sun to complete his labors. These stories aren't just about external challenges. They're about the inner journey, the struggle to confront and transform our fears, desires, and ambitions. Jung also linked fire to the concept of individuation, the process of becoming your true self. Think of it as a kind of inner fire that burns away the illusions and false identities we cling to, leaving behind only what's authentic. This idea is echoed in myths where fire is a tool of purification or rebirth, like the phoenix rising from its own ashes. The flames that destroy also pave the way for renewal, a cycle that mirrors the human experience of growth and self-discovery. Even the fear of fire, which seems primal and instinctual, can be seen as a reflection of our fear of change, of the unknown. fire forces us to confront what we'd rather avoid, and in doing so, it becomes a catalyst for transformation. But fire's symbolism doesn't stop at the individual level, it extends to the collective too. In apocalyptic myths, fire often marks the end of one era and the beginning of another. The Norse myth of Ragnarok, for example, describes a world consumed by flames, only to be reborn anew. These stories remind us that destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin, and that fire, as terrifying as it can be, is also a source of hope. It's a reminder that even in the face of chaos, there's the potential for renewal. Whether it's the fire within us or the flames that shape the world, this element continues to inspire awe, fear, and fascination, capturing the complexity of what it means to be human. Fire has always been a force of transformation, and nowhere is this more evident than in apocalyptic myths, where it takes center stage as both a destroyer and a harbinger of renewal. Across cultures, fire appears as a pivotal element in end-of-the-world narratives, embodying the dual nature of chaos and rebirth. Take, for instance, the Norse myth of Ragnarok, where the world is consumed by flames, signaling the end of the gods and the collapse of the known universe. Yet, even in this fiery destruction, there's a glimmer of hope, the promise of a new world rising from the ashes, pristine and renewed. In this way, fire doesn't just obliterate, it clears the way for something new to emerge. Similarly, in Hindu cosmology, the concept of pralaya speaks of a cosmic dissolution, a time when the universe is engulfed in fire, only to be reborn in an endless cycle of creation and destruction. Here, fire is not just a force of annihilation, but a necessary step in the cosmic order, a cleansing agent that prepares the ground for renewal. Even in the biblical book of Revelation, fire plays a transformative role, purging the earth of corruption and paving the way for a new heaven and a new earth. These stories remind us that fire, while destructive, is also deeply tied to the idea of purification and the possibility of starting anew. What's fascinating is how these apocalyptic myths contrast with fire's role in creation stories. In many creation myths, fire is a gift from the gods, a tool for building civilizations and sustaining life. But in apocalyptic tales, it becomes a force of reckoning, a reminder of the impermanence of all things. This duality, fire as both creator and destroyer, reveals its profound symbolic power. It's not just about the physical act of burning, it's about transformation, about the cycles of life, death, and rebirth that define our existence. So, what does this tell us about how ancient cultures viewed fire? Perhaps it's that fire is more than just an element. It's a metaphor for the human experience. It's the chaos that precedes order, the destruction that makes way for creation, and the cleansing force that allows us to rise again. Whether in the flames of Ragnarok or the purifying fires of Revelation, fire reminds us that endings are never truly final. They're just the beginning of something new. Fire has always been more than just a force of nature. It's a symbol of transformation, a catalyst for creation, and a spark that ignites life itself. In creation myths across cultures, fire often takes center stage as the element that brings order to chaos, light to darkness, and life to the void. Take, for instance, the Maori myth of Tain, the god of forests and birds. In this story, Tain uses fire to separate the earth from the sky, creating space for life to flourish. The flames here aren't just a tool, they're a symbol of the divine spark that sets the world into motion, transforming a formless, chaotic existence into a structured, vibrant reality. Similarly, in Egyptian mythology, fire takes on a cosmic role through the sun god Ra. Ra's fiery light doesn't just illuminate the world, it breathes life into it. Every sunrise is a reenactment of creation, as Ra's flames push back the darkness and renew the cycle of life. Fire, in this context, becomes a symbol of perpetual renewal, a reminder that creation isn't a one-time event but an ongoing process fueled by the sun's radiant energy. These myths show us that fire isn't merely destructive. It's the essential force that bridges chaos and order, giving rise to the world as we know it. But fire's role in mythology doesn't stop at creation. It also becomes a defining element in the stories of heroes, often serving as a test of their strength, ingenuity, or worthiness. Whether it's a blazing trial they must endure or a sacred flame they must protect, fire becomes a metaphor for the challenges that shape heroes into legends. And as we'll see, these fiery trials are as much about inner transformation as they are about external feats of bravery. Fire in hero myths often serves as a crucible, a test of strength, courage, and resilience. It's not just an obstacle, but a transformative force that shapes the hero's journey. Take Hercules, for instance. His trials were as much about physical endurance as they were about inner growth. One of his most famous labors involved capturing the Erymanthian boar, but it was the fiery breath of the Hydra and the searing heat of the Augean stables that truly tested his ingenuity and determination. Fire, in these moments, isn't just a destructive element, it's a mirror reflecting the hero's ability to adapt, endure, and emerge stronger. It's no accident that so many heroes face fire in their quests. It's a universal symbol of purification, burning away weakness and leaving only strength behind. Then there's Beowulf facing the fire-breathing dragon in his final battle. This isn't just a clash of brute force, it's a confrontation with mortality and legacy. The dragon's flames represent the ultimate challenge, a force so overwhelming that even the greatest of heroes must confront their own limits. Yet, through this fiery trial, Beowulf cements his place in legend, proving that true heroism isn't about invincibility, but about the courage to face the impossible. Fire here is both a weapon and a metaphor, embodying the hero's struggle against chaos and their journey toward immortality. But fire isn't always an adversary. In the forge of Hephaestus, the Greek god of fire and craftsmanship, it becomes a tool of creation. This is where heroes' weapons are forged tools that will later define their destinies. Achilles' spear, Odysseus' bow, and countless other legendary armaments were born in the heat of Hephaestus' flames. This duality of fire, both destructive and creative, mirrors the hero's own journey. They must first endure the fire's trial, only to emerge with the tools and wisdom needed to fulfill their destiny. And then there's the trickster figure, who often uses fire in more ambiguous ways. Loki, the Norse trickster, is a master of flames, using them to deceive, destroy, and sometimes even to aid. His relationship with fire is unpredictable, much like the element itself. It's a reminder that fire isn't just a force of nature. It's a reflection of the human spirit, capable of both great harm and incredible ingenuity. Whether it's a hero's trial, a weapon's birth, or a trickster's mischief, fire remains a powerful symbol of transformation, challenge, and the eternal dance between creation and destruction. Fire, with its dual nature of destruction and creation, often finds itself in the hands of trickster figures, those unpredictable, boundary-pushing characters who thrive on chaos. Take Loki, the infamous Norse trickster, who wields fire not just as a weapon but as a catalyst for change. In the myth of Ragnarok, Loki's actions fueled by his fiery mischief set the world ablaze, leading to its ultimate destruction and rebirth. Here, fire isn't just chaos, it's a force of transformation, a reminder that even the most destructive acts can pave the way for something new. Loki's fire is both a tool of disruption and a spark of renewal, embodying the unpredictable nature of life itself. But Loki isn't the only trickster who dances with flames. In Native American traditions, figures like Coyote often steal fire from the gods to give it to humanity, a gift wrapped in defiance and ingenuity. In these stories, fire becomes a symbol of rebellion and creativity, a tool that empowers mortals to rise above their limitations. Coyote's theft of fire isn't just an act of trickery, It's a bold statement about the importance of challenging authority and embracing the unknown. Fire, in these myths, represents the spark of innovation, the kind of chaos that leads to progress. What makes these trickster tales so compelling is how they capture fire's essence, its ability to disrupt and create in equal measure. It's a reminder that chaos isn't always destructive. It can be the birthplace of new ideas, new possibilities, and yet, fire's unpredictability also ties it to the underworld, a realm of mystery and transformation. In many myths, fire serves as a bridge between the living and the dead, illuminating the shadowy paths that lead to the afterlife. This connection to the underworld adds another layer to fire's symbolism, linking it to the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. As we move deeper into these myths, fire's role becomes even more complex, revealing its power to shape not just the physical world but the spiritual one as well. Fire takes on a hauntingly different meaning when we descend into the realm of the underworld. In myths across cultures, it often becomes a symbol of punishment, purification, and the ultimate boundary between life and death. Take Dante's Inferno, for example. In this iconic depiction of the afterlife, rivers of fire wind through the circles of hell, consuming the souls of the damned. The flames here aren't just tools of torment. They represent the inescapable consequences of one's actions, a fiery reckoning for sins committed in life. But fire in the underworld isn't always about punishment. It can also serve as a force of transformation. In Greek mythology, the fires of Hades aren't merely destructive, they're part of a cycle of purification. Souls passing through these flames are stripped of their earthly attachments, preparing them for whatever comes next. It's a stark reminder that fire, even in its most terrifying forms, has the power to renew and cleanse. In Hindu tradition, fire plays a pivotal role in guiding souls to the afterlife. Agni, the god of fire, is not just a deity of the hearth but also a psychopomp, a guide who leads the dead to their final destination. Here, fire becomes a bridge between worlds, a sacred force that illuminates the path from the mortal realm to the divine. It's a fascinating contrast to the punishing flames of other myths, showing how fire can embody both destruction and guidance, depending on the context. And then there's the boundary aspect of fire. In many underworld myths, fire marks the point of no return, the threshold between the living and the dead. Crossing through it is often irreversible, a symbol of the finality of death. Yet even in this role, fire retains its dual nature. It's both a barrier and a passage, a force that simultaneously separates and connects. As we move from the underworld to the heavens, fire's symbolism shifts yet again. In celestial myths, it becomes a source of light, life, and divine power, a transformation we'll explore next. Fire has always held a celestial allure, its brilliance and intensity mirroring the awe-inspiring power of the sun, stars, and comets above. Across countless myths, fire isn't just a terrestrial force, it's a cosmic one, tied to the heavens and the divine will that governs the universe. Take, for instance, the Greek myth of Phaethon, the mortal son of Helios, the sun god. Phaethon's story is a cautionary tale of ambition and hubris. When he convinced his father to let him drive the sun chariot across the sky, he quickly lost control, scorching the earth and threatening to set the heavens ablaze. Zeus, to prevent catastrophe, struck Phaethon down with a thunderbolt. Here, fire isn't just a destructive force, it's a symbol of divine power and the delicate balance of the cosmos, a reminder that even the sun's radiance is both life-giving and perilous. This connection between fire and celestial bodies isn't unique to Greek mythology. In many cultures, the sun is seen as a blazing fireball, a source of light and life, but also a manifestation of celestial authority. The ancient Egyptians revered Ra, the sun god, whose fiery disk traveled across the sky each day, symbolizing creation, renewal, and the cyclical nature of existence. Similarly, in Aztec mythology, the sun was believed to require the life force of human sacrifices to keep its flames burning, a stark reminder of fire's dual role as both giver and taker of life. Stars, too, are often depicted as eternal flames in the night sky. In Hindu cosmology, Agni, the god of fire, is said to reside in the stars, connecting the earthly realm to the heavens. Comets, with their fiery tails streaking across the sky, have long been seen as omens or messages from the gods. In Norse mythology, the fiery comet was thought to herald the coming of Ragnarok, the end of the world, tying fire to themes of destiny and cosmic cycles. These celestial myths reveal a recurring theme: fire as a symbol of cosmic power, divine will, and the fragile balance that sustains the universe. It's not just a force of nature. It's a bridge between the mortal and the divine, a reminder of humanity's small place in the grand tapestry of creation. And as we move from the celestial to the cultural, we'll see how these fiery symbols have shaped the way societies understand their world and their place within it. Fire has long been a powerful symbol in cultures across the globe, each weaving its own unique meaning into the flames. Take, for instance, the Chinese dragon, a creature often depicted with fiery breath. This image isn't just about raw power. It's a symbol of transformation and vitality, embodying the dragon's ability to bring change and renewal. In Chinese culture, fire is deeply tied to the element's life-giving energy, a force that fuels growth and courage, much like the dragon itself. It's a reminder that even in destruction, there's the potential for something new to rise from the ashes. Then there's the Celtic Beltane festival, where fire plays a central role in celebrating the arrival of summer. During Beltane, bonfires are lit to honor the sun's warmth and the fertility of the land. Leaping over these flames is seen as a way to purify oneself and invite good fortune. Here, fire isn't just a physical element, it's a bridge between the human and the divine, a symbol of renewal and the cyclical nature of life. It's fascinating how something as universal as fire can take on such specific meanings, reflecting the values and beliefs of a culture. In Jewish tradition, fire takes on a spiritual dimension with the menorah. The flickering flames of the menorah aren't just a source of light. They are a symbol of divine presence and enlightenment. Each candle represents a story of resilience and faith, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's a spark of hope that can guide us forward. This idea of fire as a beacon of hope and divine connection echoes across many cultures, showing how deeply rooted this symbol is in our collective imagination. But fire's symbolism doesn't end with ancient traditions. In modern interpretations, fire continues to inspire, often representing passion, creativity, and the drive to overcome obstacles. Think about how often we use fire metaphors in everyday language: someone with a fiery spirit or a burning desire to achieve their goals. These phrases tap into that same cultural legacy, connecting us to the timeless power of fire as a symbol of human ambition and resilience. As we move forward, we'll explore how these ancient symbols of fire continue to shape our understanding of the world today, blending the old with the new in ways that keep the flame of tradition alive. Fire's symbolism hasn't faded with the ages, it's only evolved. In modern myths, literature, and media, fire still burns brightly as a powerful metaphor, carrying all the weight of its ancient meanings while adapting to new contexts. Take the Hunger Games, for example. The mockingjay, a symbol of resistance and hope, is often tied to fiery imagery. The flames on Katniss Everdeen's dress as she spins in the arena aren't just a spectacle, they are a statement. Fire here becomes a symbol of rebellion, a spark that ignites change in a world desperate for transformation. It's no coincidence that fire is both destructive and purifying, mirroring the story's themes of sacrifice and renewal. Then there's Game of Thrones, where fire is woven into the very fabric of the narrative. Daenerys Targaryen's dragons, born from fire, are more than just weapons. they're symbols of power, rebirth, and the unyielding spirit of survival. Fire in this world is both a tool of destruction and a source of hope, embodying the duality that has fascinated humanity for millennia. Even in Harry Potter, the phoenix rises from its own ashes, a timeless symbol of renewal and resilience. Fox isn't just a magical creature, it's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, fire can signify rebirth and the possibility of starting anew. But fire's symbolism isn't limited to fantasy worlds. In our own reality, fire has taken on new layers of meaning, especially in ecological contexts. Think about wildfires, devastating, yes, but also a natural process of renewal. Certain ecosystems rely on fire to clear out old growth and make way for new life. In this sense, fire becomes a symbol of balance, a force that destroys but also creates, reminding us of nature's cycles and our place within them. It's a powerful metaphor for the challenges we face today, from climate change to societal upheaval, where destruction often paves the way for transformation. So whether it's in the pages of a book, the frames of a movie, or the natural world around us, fire continues to captivate and inspire. It's a symbol that refuses to be extinguished, always finding new ways to resonate with our collective imagination. And as we move forward, fire's dual nature, its ability to destroy and create, to devastate and renew, reminds us that even in the face of chaos, there's always the possibility of something new rising from the ashes. Fire's role in nature is a perfect reflection of its mythological symbolism. Destruction and renewal intertwined. Take forest fires, for example. At first glance, they seem catastrophic, consuming everything in their path. But beneath the chaos lies a deeper truth. Fire is a catalyst for rebirth. In ecosystems, wildfires clear out dead vegetation, making way for new growth. This cycle of destruction and renewal isn't just a modern ecological concept, it's a theme that echoes through countless ancient myths. The phoenix, rising from its ashes, is perhaps the most iconic symbol of this duality. But this idea isn't confined to legends, it's written into the very fabric of the natural world. Modern ecology has embraced this understanding, recognizing that fire isn't just an agent of devastation. It's a necessary force for balance. Controlled burns, for instance, are a practical application of this principle. By intentionally setting small, managed fires, ecologists mimic nature's own rhythms, preventing larger, more destructive wildfires and promoting healthier ecosystems. It's fascinating to think that this practice, rooted in science, aligns so closely with the ancient wisdom of fire as both destroyer and creator. The parallels are striking, just as myths depict fire as a tool of the gods, capable of wiping out the old to make way for the new. So too does nature use fire to reset and rejuvenate. This duality isn't just about the physical world, it resonates on a deeply personal level as well. Fire's transformative power isn't confined to forests or myths, it also symbolizes the potential for change within us. Think about moments in life when something must end for something new to begin. Whether it's letting go of old habits, relationships, or beliefs, these acts of release often feel like a kind of internal fire. Painful, yes, but ultimately necessary for growth. In this way, fire's ecological and mythological symbolism becomes a metaphor for the human experience, reminding us that destruction and renewal are two sides of the same coin. As we consider fire's role in nature and myth, it's impossible not to see its influence in our own lives. The flames that clear a forest also clear a path for new beginnings, just as the trials we face can pave the way for personal transformation. This connection between the natural world and our inner lives invites us to reflect on how we, too, navigate cycles of destruction and renewal. And as we explore fire's symbolism further, we'll see how these themes extend even beyond the ecological and into the deeply personal. Fire isn't just a force of nature. It's a deeply personal symbol, one that resonates with individuals across cultures and time. Think about how we use fire in our own lives, often without even realizing its profound significance. Lighting a candle in remembrance, for example, transforms a simple flame into a beacon of memory and honor. It's a quiet yet powerful act, connecting us to those we've lost or the moments we cherish. Fire, in this sense, becomes a bridge between the past and the present, a way to keep what matters most alive in our hearts. But fire's personal symbolism goes far beyond remembrance. It's also a tool for transformation. Consider the act of burning old possessions or letters as a way to let go of the past. This ritual, found in various traditions, uses fire as a metaphor for shedding what no longer serves us, whether it's old habits, painful memories, or even outdated versions of ourselves. The flames consume what was, making space for what can be. It's a vivid reminder that destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin, and that sometimes we need to burn away the old to embrace the new. One of the most striking examples of fire's role in personal growth is the ancient practice of firewalking. Imagine walking barefoot over hot coals, a ritual that symbolizes overcoming fear and stepping into one's own power. It's not just about the physical act, it's about confronting challenges head-on and emerging stronger on the other side. Firewalking teaches us that fear is often an illusion and that we're capable of far more than we think. The fire, in this context, becomes a teacher, pushing us to grow, adapt, and thrive. Fire also embodies passion and resilience in our daily lives. Think about the spark that ignites creativity or the drive to pursue a dream. It's that inner fire that keeps us moving forward, even when the path is difficult. And when life throws its toughest challenges our way, fire reminds us of our ability to rise again, like a phoenix from the ashes. It's a symbol of hope, of renewal, and of the unbreakable spirit that resides within each of us. What makes fire so universally appealing is its duality. It's both destructive and life-giving, terrifying and mesmerizing. It's a force that can warm us or burn us, illuminate our path or consume it entirely. And yet, we're drawn to it, not just for its practical uses, but for what it represents. Fire speaks to something primal within us, a reminder of our own potential for transformation, passion, and resilience. It's no wonder that, across the ages, we've continued to turn to fire as a symbol of the human experience. It's not just a part of our world, it's a part of who we are. Fire has always held a unique place in the human imagination, a symbol that transcends time and culture. Its flickering flames seem to speak a language older than words, one that resonates deep within us. Why does fire captivate us so universally? Perhaps it's because fire is primal, one of the first elements humans learn to control, yet it remains untamed at its core. It's both a tool and a force, a source of warmth and a bringer of chaos. This duality, creation and destruction, life and death, mirrors the very essence of human experience. We create, we destroy, and from the ashes we rebuild. Fire, in its raw power, reflects this cycle, making it a symbol that feels deeply personal and endlessly universal. Think about the campfire, for example. Across cultures and generations, people have gathered around its glow to share stories, myths, and wisdom. The crackling flames create a space where the ordinary fades away and the extraordinary comes alive. In these moments, fire becomes more than just a physical element. It's a bridge between the past and the present, a way to connect with others and with something greater than ourselves. Whether it's the ancient Greeks passing down tales of Prometheus or indigenous cultures honoring the sacred fire in rituals, these shared stories remind us that fire is more than just a tool or a hazard. It's a storyteller, a keeper of memory, and a symbol of unity. Fire's duality also speaks to something deeply emotional within us. It's a source of comfort, like the hearth that warms a home, but it's also a reminder of vulnerability, of how easily what we build can be consumed. This tension between creation and destruction makes fire a perfect metaphor for life itself. Just as a forest fire clears the way for new growth, fire in mythology often represents renewal, a chance to start again, to rise from the ashes. This idea of rebirth is universal, showing up in myths from the phoenix rising from its own flames to the Hindu God Agni, who embodies both destruction and purification. Fire's enduring significance lies in its ability to evoke such a wide range of emotions and meanings. It's a symbol of hope and danger, of life and death, of beginnings and endings. And in every culture, it serves as a reminder of our shared humanity, our capacity to create, to destroy, and to find meaning in the cycles of life. Whether it's the flicker of a candle or the roar of a wildfire, fire continues to ignite our imaginations, connecting us to the past, to each other, and to the eternal dance of creation and renewal. Fire, in the grand tapestry of mythology, is both the spark of creation and the blaze of destruction, a paradox that has fascinated humanity for millennia. It is the force that brings light to darkness, warmth to cold, and life to the barren. Yet, it is also the flame that consumes, reduces, and transforms. This duality is at the heart of fire's symbolism, reminding us of its power to both build and unmake worlds. From the sacred fires of Zoroastrian temples to the cleansing flames of Norse Ragnarok, fire embodies the eternal cycle of beginnings and endings, destruction and renewal. But why does fire hold such a universal grip on our imagination? Perhaps because it mirrors the very essence of our existence. Fire is a reflection of our deepest fears, the fear of chaos, of losing control, of being consumed. Yet it also symbolizes our highest aspirations, our drive to innovate, to create, to rise from the ashes stronger than before. Fire teaches us about resilience, about the inevitability of change, and about the beauty of transformation. It is a reminder that destruction is often the precursor to rebirth, and that even in the face of devastation, there is always the potential for renewal. Consider the phoenix, that mythical bird that rises from its own ashes. It is a powerful metaphor for the human spirit, embodying our capacity to endure, to adapt, and to emerge anew. Fire, in this sense, is not just an element of destruction. It is a catalyst for growth, a force that propels us forward even as it burns away the old. As we reflect on fire's role in mythology, we begin to see it as more than just a physical force. It is a mirror, reflecting our collective journey through life cycles, birth, death, and rebirth. It challenges us to confront our own fears, to embrace change, and to find meaning in the transformative power of both creation and destruction. To close, let us turn to the words of the poet T.S. Eliot, who wrote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." Fire, in its endless cycle of destruction and creation, invites us to explore, to reflect, and to rediscover ourselves. What does fire mean to you? Does it inspire awe, fear, or perhaps a sense of hope? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective, and if you enjoyed this journey into the symbolism of fire, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of mythology. Until next time, keep the flame of curiosity alive.